Hello and welcome to Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. I'm Becky Parker-Geist and I'm your host. Audiobook Connection is your place to learn about the audiobook creative process and for authors to learn valuable tips on producing and marketing your audiobooks. This podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Thanks for joining me today as we are heading into this darker time of the year, and I'm thinking about solstice and the holiday season for many traditions, and this time when we, because of the season, the cold and the dark, at least in this hemisphere, that we tend to use this as a time of reflection. And that's what I want to focus on right now. But reflection on what in particular? Reflection on what is our why for each of us. We have something that is driving us forward with what we do. And I'm thinking especially about the creative endeavors that we pursue. What is that fire in the belly that moves you forward, that encourages you and inspires you to take action? These are the things that I want to focus on for this episode. Because when we reconnect with that fire in the belly, that passion that moves us forward, we're able better then to evaluate and assess and make decisions about what our next step will be, because it is that passion that moves us forward. And when we stop and take the time to reflect and listen to what we are hearing in our own selves, then we can better assess what our next step will be. So, for example, if you as an author have written a book and you're thinking now about what is the next step on that journey, because perhaps the reason that you wrote that book is that fire in your belly. So what's the next step? Is it getting your book into audio? Maybe. Is it developing more of a marketing plan? Is it trying to figure out what your next marketing steps will be? Maybe that's the next step, is the figuring out. Or if you've already gotten that figured out, then what's the next action step to implement the plan that you already have? Do you see how taking that time to reflect can really generate a tremendous amount of energy to move forward and to take your next steps? So I want to relate this as well to, I guess we might call it my philosophy. It is part of my why. It's part of my understanding of the world. And that is that I think of our lives, our very experience as human beings, as story. We live a narrative. If we ask ourselves or each other, who are you, or what are you doing, or what do you care about? It always comes back in the form of a narrative. And I think that's partly because we express ourselves, most of us, in words, but I think it's also the way that we think. We think in narrative. And so when I think about, what is my why, I feel like there is this passion for bringing story to life in bigger ways, in helping nurture stories. And that can be through audiobook production and distribution and marketing and podcasting. All of these are a passion for me. And they help me decide what it is that my next step will be. So I'm going to share one of those next steps with you. And I'm also going to invite you to join me on this journey. One of my next steps for 2025 is going to be helping with our community at Pro Audio Voices to level up to that next level on what Amplify audiobooks can become. Because it is right now, in my mind, just a beginning. It's just a start. It is a place where you can earn more royalties and run promotions and do discount codes and know who bought your audiobook and earn way higher royalties. And that is foundational. All of those pieces, each one is so valuable and so important. And I feel like, okay, we've achieved that. And we're always, working on making it even smoother, even better. But it is the first step. And now, thinking about what are those core values that are so important to me and to our team, one of those is community. And just to list out the others, just so you know what they are, but they all come together in Amplify audiobooks and in the development of the next level of Amplify. So our core values: community, real people, authenticity, empowerment, artistry, team, and elevating stories and ideas and authors and the communities that help bring all this together. All of those, as an acronym, spell CREATE. And all of those pieces are really important to us. So I'm going to focus on the first one, community, and how it can further inform the next step that we take with Amplify audiobooks. We're looking to build a platform where we can have more community interaction. And we're not trying to build a social platform, but we are trying to build a platform where people can connect in certain ways. And so what I would like to invite you to do and to join me in is the development of what we would like that platform to become. What I need to hear from you is, what are the capabilities that you would like Amplify to have? What kind of platform would you like there to exist out there in the world that will allow you to build community between authors and their followers, between audiobook listeners and the authors, between audiobook listeners and other audiobook listeners, between authors and other authors? What are the kind of community building elements that are important to you? And there may be other aspects of the platform that would be really helpful for you and the kinds of things that empower and impassion you, that fire in your belly. How can Amplify audiobooks help you with your mission, your goal, and the ways that you want to be able to step out into the world? So my request to you is to join us not only on Amplify audiobooks if you are an author or an audiobook listener, but also in the conversation. Be part of the conversation with us. Let us know what's important to you, and that will help inform us and inform the development of Amplify audiobooks. So in this darker time of year, this winter solstice time, this dark season of winter, I hope that you will reflect on these things with me, and that together we can communicate about what's important to you so that we can build Amplify audiobooks as it grows up, how we can make it even more valuable in the world. Thank you so much for joining me for this, and I hope that you will either reach out to us on proaudiovoices.com or amplifyaudiobooks.com. Those actually are currently in the same location. And then also, if you're listening on social media, I hope that you'll leave a comment, send me a direct message, or reach out to us through the website. Let's talk about Amplify audiobooks and making it a place where we can connect more fully as community. Thanks so much for joining me today. Would you like to earn more from your audiobook sales? If you're an author with an audiobook, you may have noticed that royalties from Audible especially, and other platforms as well, are frankly kinda pathetically low, disappointingly low, and unfairly low considering what it cost you in effort and resources to create it. How is it the retailers are the ones making all the money off your work and investment? As someone who started in the audiobook industry in 1981, I've found it frustrating that authors keep getting shortchanged. The good news is that Pro Audio Voices just launched Amplify Audiobooks, a direct sale audiobook platform for authors that puts you back in the driver's seat. Earn 65% of the gross sales price that you set. Compare that to the percentage of the percentage that retailers give. Run promotions on schedule whenever you want. Create coupon codes. Build community with your customers, since you'll know who they are and how to contact them. Work with a caring, responsive, supportive team to help you succeed all along the way. Get help with marketing. Get paid weekly. We're helping audiobook authors who are frustrated by painfully low royalties and the barriers that prevent them from managing their own products and customers. Amplify Audiobooks is a direct sale platform that enables authors to earn much higher royalties and have way more control. We're disrupting the audiobook industry by putting authors first. Get started today at proaudiovoices.app or go to proaudiovoices.com and click on the Distribution Amplify link. Join the movement. Thanks for joining us for Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. Please take a moment to subscribe at audiobookconnection.com. The podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Learn more at proaudiovoices.com. Again, thanks for being with us, and please join us next week.